Okay, in this example we have the quadratic equation x squared minus 3x equals 4. And again, it's quadratic because the highest power that we see on x is a power of 2. We want to know which of the following is a first step that you could take to solve for x. Okay, so part A says add 4 to both sides of the equation. B says subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. C says factor the left side as x times the quantity x minus 3. Part D says combine the terms on the left side of the equation. So the one thing that you really need to remember, if you run across a quadratic equation, you recognize, oh, that's quadratic. The first thing you want to do before you start solving it is you want to try to make one side equal to 0. So that's kind of the thing that I'm going to keep in mind here, is I want one side of this equation to be 0. Well, part A says let's add 4 to both sides. Well, if I add 4 to both sides, I've got x squared minus 3x plus 4. On the right side, I would have 4 plus 4, which is 8. Well, that doesn't really do anything to me useful, right? It doesn't help me make one side equal to 0. All I've really done is I've got an extra term now on the left side, this positive 4 that wasn't there before. And so that to me doesn't really seem to be doing anything productive. So part A doesn't seem to make sense. Part B says let's subtract 4 from both sides, and I would think, aha, that makes more sense. Again, if we're wanting to make one side of this equation equal to 0, that seems like the reasonable thing to do in this case. So on the left side, we would have x squared minus 3x minus 4. I mean, there's no like terms, so we can't combine anything. On the right side, we would have 4 minus 4, which would give us 0. And now we've kind of done this first step of making one side of the equation equal to 0. So part B certainly looks like it's going to be the correct answer. Let's look at the other two suggestions and we'll see what happens. So part C said factor the left side as x multiplied by x minus 3. Okay, well, it's technically correct that you could do that. It is correct to factor the left side as x multiplied by x minus 3. Again, that's not doing anything in terms of making the one side of the equation equal to 0. So this factorization, while it's correct on the left side, it's not going to help you arrive at a solution at all. So that's also not correct. Let's look at D. D says combine the terms on the left side of the equation. Well, you can't really combine these terms. These are not like terms. You have one term involving x squared and one term involving just x to the first power. So those are not like terms, which means they can't be combined. So A, B, and C all gave you things that were legal to do. It's correct. Part D is actually suggesting, is saying to do something which isn't even algebraically correct. So, all right, so again, it looks like B was our correct choice, subtracting 4 from both sides of the equation.